Hi, the next feature here on MyFeedBack is student peer presentation. Now with this feature, what the lecturer has to do is to upload for instance, the presentation title or the title of any peer activity that a student have done. Let's say, for instance, a student participate in peer in a peer activity that involve rating their peers presentation within the classroom or the presentation available on the institution VLE. So the first thing to do is probably create the marking grid. The lecturer can create the marking grid, create new marking grid. If you have the marking grid, you can view it. Let's see, view the marking grid. For instance, for example, you can see this is the marking grid for the marking criteria for one peer presentation, peer activity that was done using MyFeedBack. So once you've created the marking grid that student will be able to read as well, you can now upload the peer activity to be rated. So here you see your module and you click here to add the peer assignment. So for instance, if you add presentation to networking, this is networking. If you click add, and the type of activity of peer activity will be presentation add, and you will be able to view here for the networking presentation. Once you've done that, you can now upload the IDs of the student. So if it's an individual presentation, you enter the individual student identification, and if it's a group presentation, for instance, you enter the group name. So we say, well, this is group A presentation, and the title of their presentation, for instance, they are presenting on mobile learning in the 21st century. Whatever you can enter there. So their identification and the title of their mobile their presentation, sorry, and you click upload. So once this is done, you can click here to view and manage the groups you have here. So this is, for instance, you've created was a presentation, was group A. The title was, as I said, this is just a sample. We'll say testing this. You can edit, you can delete. So now once you've done that and you've uploaded the marking criteria, now all students have to do is to access their panel to rate their student presentation and leave feedback. Now the lecturer itself can use this option here, view all student rates and leave feedback. By clicking this one, you'll be able to see the presentation. You can view only will show you only the title of the presentation, the average mark, and the number of students who have voted, like you see here as an example. If you click on the details, you'll be able to see rated by, it will show you the student identification, so you know who has voted, what feedback they provided, and what was the rate. And you can see this is the title of that presentation, and this is the group. Of course, they can do this activity inside the classroom. They can use their mobile device to rate after watching any presentation, or they can access the presentation online or in other peer activity where they are requested to rate and provide constructive feedback. They can easily do it. So you can view only, as we just saw. You can leave formative comments yourself. You, the lecturer, you can leave formative comments. So this is the one we saw just now. You say leave comments. It will provide you a form like this one. You can leave formative comments that the student belonging to that group will be able to read. You can also, if you leave a formative comment, obviously you also have the possibility to modify. I didn't leave any formative comment, that's why there is no need to modify notable here, and you're also able to delete the comment. Now you have another option. I mean, if the peer activity is part of a summative assessment, that means that they will require to have your grade, mark, and everything just summative. Then you select summative here, or you should see a table here where you'll be able to enter individual mark and grade. But one thing to remember though, here if you click summative, it implies that you enter individual mark and grade for this peer activity. So as you see, you can use MyFeedBack for any peer activity. So what's happened on the student panel is that once they access their marking criteria, they can read their marking criteria, they will have the opportunity to rate based on the criteria and to provide feedback based on the criteria. They are able to modify, to delete their comments, or well, yes, they are able to modify or delete their comment and enter new comments. So they have all the admin rights, not admin rights, they have the privilege to make any change if they wish, because as I said, this is supposed to be mostly for peer activity, formative activity. And you, the lecturer, you are able to monitor what they say. For instance, if the comment a student made was not constructive or offensive, you are able to say, you, this student, you did this, and you should be able to change it. One thing though, you can see here, for instance, who actually provided the feedback. Because you are the lecturer, you are able to identify who provided the feedback. However, on the student panel, they don't see who has provided the feedback. They can only see their mark and their rates and feedback. However, they don't see who provided the feedback. It's totally anonymous on the student panel. That's why you, the lecturer, you are able to see who is not doing their job properly. I think this is it for the peer activity feature called student peer presentation. Although it's not only for the presentation, however, this is how I call it in this prototype mobile web 2.0 application. Thank you for listening to me. Bye.